Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. This bulletin is coming to you live from our studios here at Kokomlim Lane, Accra, on digital address GA0993341, on Joy 99.7 FM, is also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country on ABN Radio in London, and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by Telesol 4G, just a touch. In this edition, residents of Tamale question importance of construction of an interchange under the Sino-Hydro project in the region as President Akufo-Addo breaks ground for the project later this afternoon.
I believe that this is a populist project. We need to tackle our basic needs as residents of Tamale, and not to think of flyovers or interchanges.
We have details as government describes the minority's call for a value for money audit as unnecessary.
I think it's becoming obvious that our friends in the minority really do not desire the Sino-Hydro transaction to go for, because every step of the way they have sought to put an impediment in our way, whether it's...
Fisheries Minister justifies decision to implement a closed season for artisanal fishermen in May and June this year, despite research by scientists that points to August as the most appropriate month for fish production.
The artisanal sector believes that their festivals are really important to them. The reason why we agreed is that there's some minimal production around that time.
We'll get to hear from some fishermen who are calling on government to ensure petrol is owned by Chinese also adhere to the directive. Also in this bulletin. Residents of the Takwa and Swayam of the Western region chant war songs and set ablaze car tires as they demonstrate yet again over the bad nature of roads in the area. We're live in the community. We have sports.
And former Ghana Football Association Vice President George Efuye has descended heavily on the Normalization Committee for what he describes as no work done in more than 6 months.
And later, where is the majority leader? Oseche Mensah-Bonsu's whereabouts comes up for discussion on the floor. We'll get some answers. I am Emefa Apau. Let's head to the northern region now, where some residents of Tamale have begun to question the importance of a construction of an interchange in the region as President Akufo-Addo prepares to break ground for the commencement of the project later this afternoon. The interchange falls under the controversial 2 billion Sino-Hydro infrastructural project, which has been heavily criticized by the minority in Parliament. The Tamale interchange, which is expected to ease traffic and enhance trade and economic growth within the region, but some residents who spoke to Joy News say it is not an immediate need. Listen to them.
The interchange is not our priority project. We still have a lot of challenges in Tamale here regarding water. We don't have good drinking water, and students are struggling with animals to drink water in Ganasco here. And if you look at residents, new developed areas, Fitim and its environs, they don't have water to drink. We don't have sustainable electricity. Then if you look at our schools, most of the schools are ripped off, and then the children are studying under trees. So for now, I believe that this is a populist project. We need to tackle our basic needs as residents of Tamale, and not to think of flyovers or interchanges.
You see, they are doing that to favor their political background or to win, to capture the power. For us, you need to have the foundation before you go to the top. So what they are doing, I only think because they want to use the opportunity to capture political power.
Now, when you say they need to tackle the foundation before they move to the top, what do you mean?
Yeah, this means that you have the foundation such as basic, let's have water for the people, let's have what accessibility of the basic thing before you come to the top one. But when you get there and you think you are doing the right thing, this means that you are doing that thing.
So you heard there's some residents of Tamale, but the inauguration ceremony is currently underway, and correspondent Martina Bugri joins us with live details. Martina, first off, has the concerns of the residents come to the attention of those in charge?
No, please. They were expressing these views before the president arrived, but before that got the opportunity to get to their attention, they had already begun the process. And so these concerns are being raised. They are hoping that when the media begins to release them, talk about them on air, they would attract the attention that they want.
Now, walk us through the inauguration ceremony as has been happening this morning.
The president just finished addressing the people a while ago. He expressed his excitement to be back to Tamale after the 5th March. And he talked of the $2 billion infrastructure deal that Ghana has gone into and the benefit that is going to bring to the people of the area. He talks of roads, he talks of hospitals, energy, among other development that is going to come to the country as a whole. He said that it's been divided into 10 lots and about 10 regions in the country would be benefiting from either roads, bridges, or flyovers, as he indicated in his address. He just finished a while ago, and he's going to inspect the layout of the Tamale interchange, which is going to be around the Point 7 taxi rank Melcombe area. And then after that, the group would disperse. But other people have also been speaking. The Minister for First of all, let's listen to what the president said about the lots that have been distributed among the country for regions to benefit in terms of roads and other infrastructure.
Okay, that's our correspondent, Martina Bugri, of course. We'll get to hear from the president during that address. But earlier, the Minister for Roads and Highway, Mr. Amoako-Attah, the official inauguration of the project in Tamale, has also been speaking on the costs of the interchange.
Shall cover 441 kilometers of roads and 2 interchanges at the cost of $500 million US. One of the 2 interchanges is what we are here to witness is shortcutting. The second interchange under the first wave of 10 major projects will take place Takrady at what we call the 5th TC roundabout, whose shortcutting will follow after this one. Ladies and gentlemen, the overall objective of this particular project is to enhance intra-urban, regional, and national traffic flow.
You heard there the Minister of Roads and Highway, Mr. Amoako-Attah. Well, you know that the minority have raised concerns about this $2 billion Hassino Hydro infrastructural project. You also heard some residents there earlier. But government at a press conference today says calls by the minority for a value for money audit and a copy of the Attorney General's advice ahead of the approval of the Hassino Hydro deal is uncalled for. The minority in Parliament yesterday, like I said, asked government to suspend the launch of the $2 billion Hassino Hydro infrastructure project, demanding a value for money audit and a copy of the Attorney General's advice on the deal. Kojo Oppong-Nkrumah, Information Minister, has been addressing that press conference.
There is no rule that a value for money audit is a prerequisite for parliamentary approval. It has never been the case. There are 2 agreements that always go to Parliament. There's the financing agreement, which talks about the terms of the financial arrangements for a particular transaction. And then there is usually the technical agreement, which deals with the technical specifications of a particular project. The technical agreement will go to the committee responsible. If it's roads, it will go to the roads subcommittee. And value for money has never been a prerequisite, and that's why Parliament was able to go ahead and give parliamentary approval. If, however, Parliament requires a value for money audit, Parliament will request for it subsequently. There is a value for money audit report that has been prepared by, I think, the Ghana Institute of Surveyors. It's been submitted to the Roads Ministry, which spells out the various areas of potential risk and gives a specification on it. So it is not true that there's no value for money audit. There is a value for money audit, which is available. I've cited it myself. Secondly, the Attorney General is involved ab initio whenever an agreement is being signed. So before the agreement comes to Parliament, the Attorney General is involved and has cited it and has made whatever recommendations, whatever opinion is required.
Well, that's the Information Minister Kojo Oponkroma. Minority spokesperson on roads and transport Kwame Agboja is questioning the credibility of the value for money audit government says he has conducted on the Sino Hydro project. He says the Ghana Institute of Surveyors is not the appropriate institution that conducts value for money audits on government projects. He says though there isn't a specific legal requirement for value for money audits to be conducted on projects, it's a convention for sole-sourced projects. You're still listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. Away from that, Fisheries Minister Elizabeth Afolekwe has justified the decision to implement a closed season for artisanal fishermen in May and June this year, whilst those involved in heavy industrial fishing will observe the season in August and September this year. Even though scientists have indicated that the month of August is more appropriate to observe the closed season, the minister insists fishermen can benefit from some minimal production, adding that traditional activities, including the celebration of festivals, informed their decisions. She spoke at a news conference this morning.
I must admit that we believe science has told us, and the fishermen themselves have also given us reasons to believe what science has told us. The Fisheries Ministry is made up, and the Fisheries Commission is made up of fisheries scientists, largely made up of fisheries scientists. And so we work with science, we depend on science. It is true that the peak production period is within a certain period, which peaks in August. We would have expected that the close season would have been for all the fleets agreed to do the close season in August. Unfortunately, the artisanal sector believes that their festivals are really important to them. And so they chose the 15th of May to the 15th of June. The reason why we agreed is that there's some minimal production around that time. And the industrial trawlers exploit heavier the resource than the artisanal sector. And so if the industrial sector is doing their close season within the peak production period, which is August to September, then we believe that there's still going to be some benefits.
Now, when asked about an alternative source of livelihood, the minister noted that government cannot provide direct monetary or financial support to fishermen during the close season. Instead, the ministry will improve its supply of subsidized fishing inputs, which she believes will go a long way to improve their livelihoods.
The states we cannot go out and say we are giving out monies to fishermen. But what we can do is to improve our supply of the fishing inputs. Most of the fishermen do fishing the wrong way. And so when we bring them the approved fishing nets, when we bring them their outboard motors, when we bring them the fishing nets that are used to exploit the resource in the right way, then we believe that it will help to sort of rebuild the stocks.
Now, the minister also warned that those who fail to comply will be arrested and made to face the law.
The law states clearly what should be done to anybody who does not comply with the fisheries laws or regulations. There's this arbitration committee set up by the ministry that regularly meets, arbitrates issues. So there are some of the infractions that are taken to court. Others are also sat on, by the arbitration.
Fisheries Minister Elizabeth Afolekwe. Well, some fishermen are demanding a level playing field when the directive comes into force. Some of them have been interacting with my colleague Roland Walker.
2 days, 3 days. We can put us a consumer on the young Koran Che flew Obini Gary in a memoir. Now the garden boy. I can't from Bobby Boy Garden Bonana, Nazama. And you say, the best banana. Sir, what to him? No, I said China from when see one, no China from more. No more, and German, I get in Yamada. Only Yan Sassy.
So Atta is saying that it will be of double standards. If the directive comes from the Ministry of Agriculture or Fisheries, that they need to have the the fishing season closed for a number of months just to do the replenishment. And whereby at the same time they also allow the bigger fishing trawlers or the vessels that are operated by the Chinese and the other Asians who are flooding our fishing waters to go on undertaking their trade without any check. It's a concern for ATAP.
You heard there my colleague Roland Walker speaking to a fisherman at Jamestown here in Accra. Let's stay a while longer on issue of fishing because some fishermen at Elmina in the central region are demanding explanations from the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, and government as to why the colour and content of the premix fuel have changed in recent times. According to the fishermen, the current content of the premix fuel sold to them is destroying their outboard motors. At a news conference held at Elmina yesterday, spokesperson for the fishermen, Manoma Kwesen, says government should not disturb them with the close season, but rather deal with the trawlers that are destroying the sea.
Fishermen from Elmina, they've gathered, they have a message that from January, they have noticed some changes in the premix fuel that is sold to them, and they are not happy with it. They are asking government and the NPA to come clear why there is no oil in the premix fuel, why the premix fuel has no color, because what they know is that the premix fuel has a color and there is oil in it.
Now, no, I am one day, 50 January by February, petrol over Chromahano, the whole gun of petrol. You would have color be our I know. You would have oil be our and the baby said, Abana there.
It is extremely surprising that the premix fuel that is supplied to us since January has no color and oil in it. The color used to be blue. We are demanding answers from government and the NPA. Secondly, we want to ask the NPA if it is their decision to make us pay money for 5 gallons when indeed we are supplied 4 gallons of premix fuel.
The fishermen here are distraught. They are throwing a challenge to government to seize the petroleum on the sea for like 6 months. It is in that case that they would want to agree with government to close the season.
I disagree with them on this close season. I think they have their own motive for doing this.
That's the situation at Elmina. My colleague Richard Kujunyaku interacting with some fishermen there and also the chief fisherman for the area, Manoma Kwesen. Sounds of some residents of the Takwa and Swaya municipality of the Western region, numbering over 100, clad in red bands and chanting war songs, set ablaze car tires to prevent vehicles from moving in and out of the municipality. This was to register their displeasure of the bad nature of roads in the area. These residents blocked the main road that links Takwa to Takrady and the Western North region this morning. This is the second of demonstrations in 7 months by the people and traditional leaders of Takwa. My colleague Ina Thalia Kwansa joins us on the line with the very latest. Now, Ina, you've been speaking to these residents. Why did they resort to this just to get their message across?
The residents said they have spoken about this over and time again. They've had promises from the MP for the area, from the MCE, even the road minister has been there to give them promises. And they think these promises are dying off. So they have to let them redo this demonstration to let them know that the road is still not fixed. If probably some of them think it has been fixed, it has not been fixed. And then another worrying situation they tell me is about the number of respiratory diseases which has been recorded at the Takwa hospital, which is a bit scary for them. So they think if nothing is done within the shortest possible time, then their health especially is in danger. And the fact that they are mining minerals like gold from that municipality and then they are not seeing any results.
Well, but we're told that there was a contractor on site and these residents attacked him, true?
Yes, they think, these residents think the contractor is the one delaying it because after the first demonstration, the Roads and Highway Minister met with these residents and traditional leaders and told them that everything has been cleared, the funds have been cleared for the contractor to start work. So they don't know why he is still delaying and getting the road fixed.
But have we heard from the authorities, for instance, the Western Regional Minister, the DCEMC, has anybody been speaking to this?
They've sent a petition to the MCE, Gilbert Asma, who received it. The only thing he told them was that he would forward their petition to Accra and then give them feedback as and when he gets the feedback
Well, that's Inatalia Kwanza there. We're hoping to get some response from the Western Regional Minister, Mr. Kobi Otre Dako, here on the Midday News. If not, we'll do so in our subsequent bulletins. But let's stay a while longer in the Western region because the President, Akufo-Addo, would today begin the first phase of his 2019 national tour of the newly created regions, beginning from the Western North. There, he will inspect the site for construction of the new Regional Coordinating Council and cut sword for the construction of a warehouse at Bia. Information Minister Kojo Oppong-Nkrumah gave further details of the President's tour at a news conference earlier today.
The tours provide him with first-hand knowledge of developments and ongoing projects nationwide. And the first phase is taking him to the Western North, the Bono East and the Ahafo regions between today and Monday. For example, later today when he returns from Tamale, he will continue to the Western North region, where later this afternoon he will cut sword for the construction of the main campus of the Bibiani College of Health Sciences. Later today as well, he will again cut sword for the construction of the Sihi Rioso Town roads and inspect a business resource center.
You heard the Information Minister Kojo Oppong-Nkrumah. You're still listening to the Midday News on Joy 99.7 FM. We'll take a quick break. When we return, where is the majority leader? Oseche Mensah-Bonsu's whereabouts comes up for discussion on the floor. We'll get you some answers.
Becoming the largest African fashion marketplace, this Wednesday on the Joy Business Van, co-founder of Ahwenepa.com, Henry Kobler, will tell us how this e-commerce platform offers creative fashion designers across the continent the opportunity to market their products.
So we've been doing this for 4 years. It's been amazing because we started from it just being a classified site to a one-shop, now to a multi-vendor shop. Now, we've had some amazing successes where we're running close to over 600 different designers, very active accounts, buying and selling.
Ahwenepa.com, Africa's fashion hub, this Wednesday on the Joy Business Van, on TV, radio, online and on ground. It's powered by Joy Business and supported by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Thanks for staying with the best. You're still listening to the Midday News on Joy 99.7 FM. Let's do sports now. Redwan has the very latest.
Yes, MFA. The Ghana Football Association Normalization Committee got a mandate extension at the end of last month. And after an initial 6-month tenure expired, now Dr. Kofi Amwa-led committee will have another 4 months to restructure, things at the GFA. To ensure that they get things in place and football normalized for the Ghana Football Association to get things back on track. And, following what happened after the June 6th expose where the documentary went airing with some match officials seen accepting bribes, the FA was shut down and football came to a halt. Now, after 6 months of events and more, Vice President of the Football Association, George Efriye, says that the normalization committee has done very little, since taking charge.
If Dr. Kofi Amwa is to stay 2 years, I'm telling you this, if he's to stay on for 2 years to reform football, some of us will support him, provided you carry us along to know what you are doing. Just let us know. You don't reform in your bedroom. If you want to reform football, let us know that I'm doing A, B, C. Trust me, whether Dr. Kofi Amwa likes it or not, 90% of the stakeholders in the football clubs. So you don't take us for granted. The fact that we've been quiet and we've allowed you smooth to operate, it doesn't mean that you can take us for granted. The era where people will say, take it or leave it. We are living in a democratic dispensation where we the same way Dr. Kofi Amwa, the same way we want to see serious, proper reforms. Me, I haven't seen any reform.
Have you?
Big question.
That's your sports.
Thank you very much, Redwan. Now, a child delivery center is near completion at Mango Tideke, a village in the Volta region where the chief doubles as a midwife and does deliveries on the bare floor. This comes after a Joy News Hotline documentary titled Left Behind, which highlighted the plight of pregnant women in the village. Gifty Andropia has more on this Radio Gets results.
It's a Saturday morning here at Mango Tideke. I've come to follow up on progress of work ongoing on a child delivery center. Happy Bill is 25 years and one of a couple of pregnant women at the moment. She's expecting her third child. She is considered the luckiest, as all the women here want to be the first to have a child at the delivery center. The construction began after a Joy News documentary, Left Behind, highlighted how women in labor are delivered on the bare floor and sometimes on the floor of a bathroom. The phenomenon is about to end because of a lecturer at the Ho Technical University, Dr. Divine Novieto, who was moved by the story.
I got to this particular project through a documentary that I watched on Joy News. So we started with a few appeals to friends and realized that they were interested in it. Now we are getting to the roof level. After the roof level, we'll do the finishings and then hand it over to the community.
Part of those he reached out to is a group of professional friends on a WhatsApp group called Paddies.
It started as a WhatsApp social media group, and when we saw the story, we were really touched. We realized that it was something we want to support.
Residents here at Mango Tideke are waiting with bated breath. The centre will have a delivery room, a recovery room, bathrooms and an office for the health professional who will be stationed here. The women here are elated.
I am sure I'll be delivering there. I am happy and we thank them that they came to build a clinic for us.
I'm planning to have more children myself.
May God bless them and protect them and get a lot of money for building our destiny for us.
Gifty Andopia, Joy News, Mango Tideke, Volta Region.
Radio gets results.
Radio indeed that gets results. Let's head to Parliament now because the minority is demanding to know the whereabouts of the majority leader, Osei Mensah Bonsu, who has not been in the House this week. My colleague Joseph Opoku-Gakpo joins us with some answers. Joseph, where is the majority leader?
Muntaka Mubarak, the minority chief, will raise the issue that the House should have gone on break last Friday, but the majority leader ordered the extension by a week, and so he doesn't understand why himself is not been around. We know that late last week, himself and the minority leader and other leaders in the House attended a meeting of the Inter-Parliamentary Union in Doha. But according to Muntaka Mubarak, they are supposed to be back, but he gathers that the majority leader flew out of the country again late last night. And on the floor, he demanded to know the whereabouts. The Deputy Majority Leader, Joasafo, refused to disclose that, except to also question the whereabouts of the minority leader. And that dragged the debate on that for a while until the Speaker moved on to other business.
So we got to know where the whereabouts of both the majority and the minority leader.
Officially, we don't. Muntaka Mubarak gave an indication that the minority leader will be in the chamber today, but the majority side, they refuse to disclose the whereabouts of the majority leader.
Interesting. That's Joseph Opoku-Gakpo bringing us the latest from Parliament. What's trending on social media, Maps? Are we looking for a majority leader?
Oh, no, we're not. But my favorite team is trending, and that's Barca. Barcelona at IM.fan_land says, it's going to be lit. I expect Barca to win. Today we'll have to know who is who. And at Crusader Fact says, this isn't the Barca of a few years ago. And while they're very good, they can be better. And at Kwesi Benedict says, I expect Barca to win.
But do we need to know who is who? Of course, it's Manchester United.
Oh, please.
And it's going down later tonight. Impeccable commentary here on Joy 99.7 with George Adu Jr. and Gary Al Smith. In the meantime, there's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I am Emefa Apau. Thanks so much for your company.